Hello, I'm Umnik. I'm still doing genuinely approachable pencil puzzles from Kraken's Cryptic Discord, and since we have finished the February puzzles, we will be moving on to March of 2022, mine the GAPP 5. We have also changed our working setup here at home. Bought some external monitors, so I will be looking up instead of down or in the camera. I also will be using honest to goodness mouse. Imagine having an actual button for right click. So yeah, might be very weird for me. I'm very used to using the touchpad. On the other hand, I can put the microphone here. I don't know if it should be in on the screen, on the camera, but yeah. As you can see, I'm a bit nervous about using new setup. So let's just jump into puzzles so I can be more relaxed. And the first puzzle we will be looking at is Graffiti by Shye. Don't really remember this puzzle. I think I've solved like a couple, and it looks like a combination of like just nonogram puzzle and some loop. Now let's see the rules. Shade some cells and draw a non-intersecting loop through the centers of all the remaining empty cells. Clues outside the grid represent the lengths of the blocks of consecutive shaded cells in the corresponding row column in order. Question mark clue represents an unknown non-zero length of consecutive shaded clues. So yeah, the number clues outside the grid just nonogram clues, but we also need to draw a loop through all the unshaded cells. Let's see the example. Yeah, the mouse is hard. Okay, 6 is just 6 shaded cells. We already have 1, 3, 1, 3, and there will be a 1 somewhere. 1, 1 means that all the groups must be of length 1, so this is surrounded by unshadeds. But we need to remember that we also need to draw a loop. So actually I cannot shade this cell because this will be a corner of the loop, so it must escape somewhere. And yeah, you like need to remember that it is not just a nonogram puzzle. You need to draw a loop, and probably need to solve the nonogram part and the loop part intertwined. You cannot just like solve the nonogram part and then draw a simple loop. And like actually it might have been better to use like Yedgelin type of tool that can like shade cells, mark them as unshaded, and draw a loop. So like without flicking between two tabs. But like it has an issue that like to shade a lot of cells you will need to like click at them one by one. which is like not very comfortable when you need to shade 6 cells. But I think it's still better. So yeah, I'll probably try to use Yegelin tool. So this is a corner, so we're continuing to draw the loop here. This two have to go here, so all of the other cells here are unshaded. Actually, can I draw like a lot of unshades? I can. Okay, so I can put a lot of unshadeds. Yeah, it will be like not super nice because I have like mixed notation for unshadeds. And they can't even put dots here. Okay, yeah, let's remove the green cells. And we will use only Yegelin. So in this row 1 and 1, so this cell must be shaded because loop cannot reach it. This is a corner of the loop, and this cell also must be shaded because again the loop cannot reach it. In this row we must have 2, so it must be somewhere here, and this cell is surely shaded. This one is not. And we now have 3, 1 in this column, so we can continue the loop here. So this cell must not be used by the loop, so it must be shaded. Now we have finished the 2, and we can draw the rest of the loop. Great. So yeah. You can also like use examples to find out that the tools provided for marking are not very nice, and find what works for you better. But I guess to do that, well, first of all, you need to use Tapa editor, because like puzzling thinks that it knows better, and like it usually does, because like they choose the tools puzzle by puzzle, and Tapa just allows a lot of tools. But yeah, then you need to know what tools are actually available. And yeah, there is a lot of options. But like most interesting tools are in composite section, where like it is like collection of tools for genres. And like and Gorian actually said that like he's using Yegelin for like a lot of genres that are not Yegelin. Okay, let's look the main puzzle. Okay, another puzzle by Shye that I have seen in her own blog. So yeah, now we know that I have solved some graffiti puzzles. This one, for example. But we can solve it again. So the 6s are big. The grid is 9 by 9, so yeah. Yeah, also need to actually choose Yegelin. And I will have to press them one by one. Okay, so this 1, 6 on the border actually is interesting, because like on the border, if I have like a part of the loop, it must be a segment of length at least 2. So between those 1 and 6 are actually at least 2 cells, and it can happen only in one way. like this. So now this 6 must be here, and this one is unshaded. Now 5 in this column will take at least those 4, and it cannot leave this corner because like the loop will not be able to use it, so the corner is also shaded. And we have to continue the loop like here. Now we cannot enter this cell because if we use it in the loop will close right here. So it must be shaded, and that satisfies like both one clues. So all the other cells in this row and column must be unshaded. This 4 is now a lot, right? We have 6 left, so the middle 2 must be shaded. This 2 is already satisfied. Great. This is a corner, so this also must be shaded. And we have this narrow corridor, so the loop must take it. In this row, the 3 must be like on the right and actually use this cell, so this is unshaded. And we can continue the loop like a lot actually. This is a corner of the loop. So the question marks represent just one group, so this is the group corresponding to the question mark. So the next group must be 2, and then we have unshaded cell. This 3 can connect to the left. And now this cell also must be unused by the loop, because like we wouldn't be able to escape from it. So this one is unshaded, and it is a corner of the loop. Now in this column we have like question mark 2, 1. Those 2, 1 only has like 4 cells left. So it must be like this. The loop goes here, and here we only have one option. So this one must be shaded. Question mark 1, 2. This is a question mark. So this is 1, this is 2. And here we have question mark 1, 1. Question mark 1, 1. So all of those are unshaded. This is a corner. Question mark 2, 1. All of those must be shaded because the loop will not be able to leave that part. And just finishing the loop. This one is shaded, and yeah, the puzzle is done. Great. Nice, nice puzzle, nice genre. Because most of us like know what nonogram is. Just nonogram plus simple loop. The second puzzle is Ring Ring No Squares by Jovial. Someone might need to stage an intervention. I'm addicted to Ring Ring. Joey, hasn't the GAPP team covered this genre twice already? Yes, we have. Joey, why did you say GAPP team when it's you that covered the genre twice already? Can't fault the girl for that. Sure. Maybe Jovial will make me love Ring Ring too, even though I don't right now. So, reminder of the rules. We have already seen this genre previously. Draw rectangular loops through the centers of empty cells so that every empty cell gets used. The sides of different rectangles may intersect each other, but not turn at their intersection or otherwise overlap. And the variant is none of the rings may be square. So they must be rectangles with different sizes, different side lengths. we'll still look at the example because it's a variant, so it has a different example. All cells must be used, and like the corners must be corners, and they're still rectangles, so if we have like internal angles, they must be actually intersections, not internal angles. Now, in this ring, one side is already of length 2, so the other one must be not 2, and in this case it means strictly greater than 2. Corners, so this side is 1, so the other one must be greater than 1. More corners. So it kind of looks like this, and this, but how do we actually show that? Why can't I continue like this? Okay, this is corner now, right? Because like I cannot have a horizontal line here because it will it will have to cross the border if I have it here. So this is a corner, and that determines this ring. So this one must go further, but now this can be a 2 by 2 rectangle because that would be a square, so it must go further. And this one must turn down, and it cannot close here because that would be a square. And we will not be told like if this is a correct solution because this puzzle uses variant rules, and basically like there is a base type which is ring, but it has additional rules which are not checked by the checker, but I can like check base type. It is a correct solution of ring puzzle, but there would be like more correct solution of ring puzzle. This would also be a correct solution of ring puzzle, but not with additional rules about no squares. Okay. Let's try to love ring puzzles. Corners are nice. This is an intersection. Let's start by drawing all the corners. Actually, intersection, corner. Okay, that's a lot of corners. We also have several potential squares. Like this is a potential square, so it must go further. Now this is a potential square, which also must go further. Now this is a corner. This is a potential square. This mouse is just hurt. It just doesn't want to work with me. This is a corner, and with 2 intersections we will finish this ring. Cannot go further here because like I will go into this blackened cell. It must close here. Now this one close here, and it cannot close here because it's a square, so it goes further and even further than that because it cannot close through the black square, and now it cannot go further, so it must close. And this one also closes. This cannot go down, so it goes right, and it goes right once again because otherwise it will be a square. This is a corner, right? Cannot go left here, so corner. This is also a corner, and this is a corner. This is intersection, and this is a corner. Intersection. This is potentially 2 by 2, so this closes this ring. Now it looks like if I connect those two cells, like I will not be able to use, right? So like from here I just cannot escape anywhere. So I will not connect them. Cannot go up here because some mess. Like it will be an intersection and then intersection again, which is bad. So it must go further left, but not further than that. So this is just one loop. Now those are corners, and close those two and finish the puzzle. Looks correct to me. Loving rings is still on the table. March 3rd, simple loop short by Tyrgannus. So simple loop is just a genre where like given a field with some blackened cells and you need to draw a loop through all the cells. And that's what it said. But this is a variant short. No straight light segment may be more than 2 cells in length. May not cross more than 2 cell borders without turning. So yeah, all the segments are either of length 1 or 2. Let's check out the example. Yeah, the corners are still very much present in this genre. Now those segments of length 2 cannot continue further. Come on. Why do you hate me? Can I at least mark X's? Thank you. This cell must be used, so it goes like this. Just continue in the loop, corners, corners, not continue in the loop like this. Corners, corners, another corner, yet another corner. Cannot connect here because that would be a segment of length 3. Goes up here, and cannot connect here because that would create 2 loops instead of 1. So it connects like this. So yeah, simple loop is pretty simple, but it's not like it's super dumb. It's still a valid genre. Corners. Straight gaps cannot continue those segments, so they must turn. Sorry, I cannot solve puzzles without marking negative information. Like, come on. Need to use those gaps. Cannot go further, but also like there is a corner and another corner, and again this lends to corner, 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 a lot of corners. Here I can go only one way, and here only one way. Corner, 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 and corner. Okay, I think that's all the corners for now. This segment cannot go further. No, cannot connect here. Corner. Corner, corner, corner. Now if I connect here, this will have to be a segment of length at least 3. Cannot connect here. Now this is of length 2, so it must join. Through this cell cannot draw like this, so this exit must be used. And that means that I cannot go straight here because that would be of length 3. Corner. This cell has 3 exits and those 2 are the same path, so need to use the third one. Cannot use this connection because that would make a segment of length 3. A segment of length 2 must join. Corner, 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 length 2, corner, 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 corner. Cannot connect here because it will make length 3. Goes up, this is length 2, so it must join, and finish the puzzle. Nice and simple and loop. Puzzle number 4, Tapa Unknowns by Freddy Hand. But we have not seen Tapa puzzles, I think. So I prepared for this. I looked up the genres in advance and saw that there is a variant for a genre we haven't seen, which relies on knowing what the genre is. So we will look for the Tapa puzzle from Mind the Gap 1. Also by Freddy Hand. Freddy must like tapas or something. Yeah. So this is one of the very famous puzzle genres. And I think I have read the creation story as the puzzle was created by Serkan Yürekli. I hope I'm pronouncing that close enough. Which is a Turkish/American puzzle constructor. And I think the idea was to create a puzzle genre that is like nonogram, but with clues inside the puzzle grid. So the grid looks something like this. And yeah, let's check out the rules. Shade some cells so that all shaded cells form one orthogonally connected area. So all blacks are connected. Clue cells cannot be shaded and represent the length of the blocks of consecutive shaded cells. So kind of like nonogram, but in the up to 8 cells surrounding the clue. And also no 2x2 region may be entirely shaded. So let's look at the example. So like this 1, 1, 3 clue means that like we look at the 8 cells surrounding this clue and look at the groups of consecutive shaded cells. So the groups are like this 1, then this 3, and then this 1. So it's 1, 1, 3. The order is not important. So like they're just given in increasing order here, but like they can be given in any order, and it just means that there must be 3 groups with length 1, 1, 3. So this clue is on the border, so there are less cells here, only 5, and like we do not connect through the like non-existing cells. So like we can kind of imagine that the grid is surrounded by unshaded cells. So this 1, 3 clue means that there is like 1 and 3. And there are like single digit clues that are just one group, but like you need to remember that it is one group. So for this 2, for example, we could not have like shaded, unshaded, and unshaded, because that would be 1, 1, not 2. Also, all the shaded cells are connected, and we do not have 2x2 squares of shaded cells. Yep. As I said in the beginning, I did not start from the first mind the gap, but from the fourth, because in the first 3 they didn't put links to the example puzzles, so there's just one link for the main puzzle. So we just look at the example right now, but like we will use this puzzle as an example for this puzzle basically, and also we will solve the actual example for this puzzle. I have solved a lot of tapas. Not like compared to top players, but like it's in the hundreds and probably like closer to 1,000. And I'm still very bad. But like here I will be making like a lot of jumps in logic, hopefully. Well, I will try not to, but hopefully I can at least like spot jumps in logic. Well, we'll see. So we can start with like big clues or clues on the border, but technically like this 1, 2, for example, I don't think we can determine status of any of the 5 cells around it. But like there are just clues that from which we can get information like right away, and also there are clues that like use the position of other clues, because we know that we cannot shade clue cells. So some clues which we can resolve right away are those 3 and 1, 1 in the corners, because there are only 3 cells here. This 3 means that all of them must be shaded. This 1, 1 means that we need to have 2 groups, but on 3 cells. It's like this. So even if we didn't know what the numbers would be here, but we knew that there are 2 of them, it can only be resolved like this. And this is actually what will be happening here. Like all the numbers are replaced by question mark, and we can see actually two corners with two groups. So yeah, just a bit of a look ahead. Also we have connectivity, so those shadeds must exit. Now this 4 must be like this. Also we could have shaded those 3 right away. And it is like, as I said, like the genre was constructed like to be kind of like nonogram, but with clues inside. And it is somewhat similar. So if we have like this 5 cells and the 4 clue, it means that the 3 in the middle must be shaded. Now those 7s are very big, and like you need to remember that for all cells that are not like on the border or in the corners, there are 8 neighbors. So 7 is almost 8, and there is already 1 clue in the neighboring cell, so we cannot shade it. So we must shade everything else, and also here. Now this 3, 3, we already have a group of 3, so like we must have 2 groups, both of size 3. So this group of 3 must be surrounded by unshadeds, and those 3 must be shaded. Actually, it is not used here, but 3, 3 is like a very powerful clue, because like it must be those 2 groups of 3 separated by 2 unshadeds on both sides, and it will always be this symmetrical figure. So there are only 4 possible options, even if we don't know anything else. Like where the unshadeds can be. It can be like this, symmetrical, like this, or like this. So basically like vertical, horizontal, and diagonals. And from this 3, 3 in the corner, just right away we could have shaded those 2 cells, because if they're unshaded, we will have this group of 3 that is separated from everything else. Also for this 3, 3, because we know that it will be symmetrical like group of shadeds, symmetrical pattern. If we have some shaded cell, it means that we can shade the opposite one right away. But here we just get it for free because of this cell. This group of shadeds must escape. These 2 already have like 2 shadeds and they're separated, so this must be just groups of 2, and the same here. Now those 1, 3 already have like a lot of shadeds, a lot of unshadeds. We have left like group of 1 and group of 4. So 3 must be somewhere in the 4, and we can shade 2 middle ones. And the 1 must be here because like it do not fit here with another unshaded. And the same for this 1, 3, and actually they're both resolved right now. This 3 already have 2, so must continue like this, and all others are unshaded. This 1, 3 has 2 groups of shadeds. They cannot connect because it will be a 4, and we do not have like 4 or more here. So one of them must be 1, one of them must be 3, and like there are a lot of ways to understand which one is which. So way number 1, this is a 2 by 2 square which is close to be blackened, and this one also. So this one must be unshaded. Also, if we if we try to make this one to be a group of 3, it will actually be a 4, which is bad. And also, if we try to make this a 1, it will cut off this group of shadeds. So this must be 1, this must be 3, with a lot of options to choose from how to prove it. Now this group of shadeds actually like still must connect to everything else, and it cannot do it here, so it must go down, and this 3 is now finished, so this one must be unshaded. This group still must escape here, and this is 2 by 2, and then this one must be unshaded. The 4 clue is kind of like similar to 3-3, except like it will be 4 shaded cells and 4 unshaded cells, which also be in one group, right? The number of groups of shadeds and unshadeds is the same, except for when we have like 8 shadeds and 0 unshadeds, or vice versa, because like groups of shadeds and unshadeds must alternate. And since we have like 4 and 4, it means that it looks something like this, which means that the opposite cells must be different. So here, like the opposite cells must be the same always, but for 4 clue, the opposite cells must be different always. So we have those 3 shaded, those 3 must be unshaded. This is a 2 by 2 square. 1, 4 has like 1 and 5, so 4 must be in 5, and the 3 middle are shaded, and 1 must be here. 2, 3. 2, 3 is also like a strong clue because it uses a lot of shadeds. Like the mass here is again like kind of similar to nonogram puzzles. We have 8 cells, so if we have k groups with total equal to s, then like s plus k cells, because like between every 2 consecutive groups we must have an unshaded. So 2 plus 3 plus 2 for the number of groups is 7, which is close to 8. So like the number of ways it can look like is pretty limited. And for example, we could see that, let's just remove all of that. If we have like a 2-3 clue and some unshaded cell, then the cells on distance 2 on the circle must be shaded. Why is that? Like, because if this one is unshaded, then we cannot fit anything in this one. But now we cannot fit a 2-3 in those 5. So those must be shaded, but we also knew this, and yeah, that's the information we get. Okay, this is 2 by 2 square, so this must be unshaded. This group must escape. Now this is a 2, so this must be 1 for this 1-2 clue. This group must still escape. This is still like unconnected with the higher part, so they must connect here. Now this 1-4 is already satisfied, so this is unshaded. Now this is shaded to satisfy this 2-3. This is unshaded because of this 2 by 2 square, and connect everything. So like there are a lot of rules, like connectivity, 2 by 2 squares, and the clues. And there are a lot of clues also on the board. So like they all work together, and one flows to another. So you get some shadeds from the clues, you can get some shadeds from the fact that they must be connected, and then you get unshadeds from the fact that there are no 2 by 2 squares, and like one causes the other, and it just follows through. Okay, now going back to Mind the GAPP Volume 5, Tapa Unknowns by Freddy Hand. So the rules are just Tapa rules, which we just saw in the previous puzzle, but the variant rules, some clues may contain question marks. Each of these represent a positive integer, so it's strictly greater than 0. And in this case, all the numbers are replaced by question marks. So all we know is the number of groups for every cell, but not the length of the groups. Let's look at the example. And like here, obviously, like I know something about the clues because I solved Tapa puzzle. Like you can just like deduce it from the rules. Well, obviously, like, you can deduce everything I know and even the stuff I don't know from the rules of the puzzle. Like the rules, all that you have at the beginning. So like at some point I deduced some stuff from the rules, and now I just know it and can use it to understand what those question marks might actually mean. For example, this cell with 4 question marks, as I said, like we can take the sum of all clues plus the number of clues, and that will be like the number of cells you need to do it. And if we have 4, then each one of them is at least 1, so the sum is at least 4, and also plus 4 for the number of clues is 8. 8 is just the number of neighbors. So all of those question marks must be 1s. If at least one of them is bigger, then we will get strictly bigger than 8 in the sum. So all of them are 1s, and those 4 1s can be satisfied only in 2 ways. So it must be like alternating pattern of shadeds and unshadeds, and there are 2 different ways to do it. And here we already have an unshaded cell here because it is a clue, so those must be unshaded and those must be shaded. And that gives us a lot of information right away, because like everything must be connected, and since this clue was like pretty close to the border, we already have like this big separation, so we can shade a lot of stuff right away. We can also shade this cell, because if it is unshaded, then like we have created a separation, and like we will not be able to escape this lower left corner. But like you can remember it from one of the previous videos where I talked about like shading puzzles, that connection of the shading cells is the same as like creating a like disconnect of the shaded cells is the same as creating a path from border to border on the unshaded, or creating a cycle on unshaded. So here, if we unshade this one, we will create this diagonal path that will cut off lower left corner. So this is shaded. Now if I shade this cell, this clue will just have 1 group, so it must be unshaded. And it was actually a 2-2 clue, but it was like not important here. Now to actually escape with this group, I will have to shade all of that. Now this clue with 2 groups, like we already have 1 group, and this cell, if shaded, will still be in that group. So to create a second group, we must shade this one, and it must escape. The same situation here, so we must shade this one. Now we cannot shade this one because this clue must have 2 groups, so this is unshaded. Shade this one, then shade this one, because like we need to connect all of that, and yeah, we cannot shade this one because it would create a 2x2 square. And actually, like you could understand that we need to shade this one even before all of that, because like that would be this is a pass from border to border by unshaded. So like you could understand that we need to shade this one, then unshade this one, and yeah. Okay, now that we have solved like another full Tapa puzzle, just to understand what Tapa is, and solved the example for the Tapa unknowns, we can try to tackle the full puzzle. 3 question marks on the border. Like we have 5 cells, so it's 3 plus, well, in this case 2 groups, because we do not need like another unshaded cell to separate the first and the last group. But still, 3 question marks on the border must be 1, 1, 1, and it can be only satisfied like this. And that again like gives us a lot of shadeds because of connectivity. Also, I already mentioned that like 2 groups in the corner, just 1, 1, and also some shadeds from the connectivity. Now this clue must be 3 groups. We already have a group of 3, so now 2 others are at least ones, so it will be like 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 3 for the number of groups is 8. So they actually must be ones, and this must be just 3, not more than that. And it can be only satisfied like this. This group still need to escape. 4 question marks means that it's 1, 1, 1, 1, and like it can be either like this or like this. Come on. But the first option is bad because this one group will not be able to escape, because it must be a one group for this clue. So actually need to be corners, not sides. Now this group must escape and even escape even further. This group also must escape and escape again. We have 2 question marks here and already have 5 here. So again, this is at least like 1 and 5. 1 plus 5 plus 2, 8. So it must be 1, 5. And this group must escape. And this is like just 1 question mark, 1 group. So this and this must be in the same group. So must shade all of the remaining cells. And this question mark turned out to be a 7. This was isn't shaded because of this 2 by 2 square. Now this clue with 3 groups, if I I have 3 groups now, and if I connect any of them, I will not be able to create 3. So this one must be unshaded, but then this group needs to escape, so it goes up. All of that still needs to escape, so it goes further right. Now we again have like 1, 1, 3. This one is unshaded. This still needs to escape further. This cell needs to escape. Cannot shade this one because it would make 1 group instead of 2. This group still needs to escape like this. All of this still needs to escape. For this clue we need 2 groups, so this one must be unshaded, and this must be 1 group, so all of the remaining are shaded. And actually, like right here, we could understand that like this group, this must be 1 shaded group, so those 2 must be connected either through the upper channel or through the lower. But if they are connected through the upper channel, I will not be able to create 2 groups here. So I must use the lower channel here. I assume that was like a lot, because Tapa is a lot. And like I have some pre-existing knowledge. Okay, and I will do one more. Supersized Square Gem by Eric Fox. We have already seen Square Gem, I think also from Eric Fox. And there was a Square Gem bonus puzzle in the previous episode. Do I need to go through the example? Well, let's see. Well, yeah, I did solve it. Okay, so right, I still need to read the rules, sure. Divide the grid into square regions of orthogonally connected cells. A number indicates the side lengths of the square it's in. Region borders may not form any four-way intersections. Okay, so the one is just 1 by 1 square. 2 on the border means that it must be in 2 by 2 square near the left border. So its right border must be on this line, and it is at least here. Also, I cannot continue down because that would create a four-way intersection here. So it will go up instead. Those threes are on the borders, and both of them need to use this cell, which means that this is just one 3 by 3 square, and it must look like this. This cell must be 1 by 1 square. Now those two cells must be in the same square, because otherwise that will be a four-way intersection. So this is a 2 by 2 square. 1 by 1s here. The same for those two cells, otherwise there will be a four-way intersection. So this is a 2 by 2 square. It's 1 by 1. This must stay 2 by 2. Because otherwise there will be a four-way intersection. Those two cells are in the same square, and that's finished. And now we will solve the supersized square gem. Oh, that's pretty supersized. Okay, the ones are easy. Using the mouse is not very easy. Also, some corners must be also 1, and in all 4 we have those two cells that must be connected. And here, for example, it must be actually 2 by 2, because increasing further will take this cell, which must be 1. Cannot increase this one either, because it will take this 2. Those cells are in the same square, and those cells are in the same square, so it's at least 3 by 3, which actually takes this 5, it makes it 5 by 5. And this 5 will be in the same square, so it must look like this. Now this 3 looks like this, and this 3 looks like this. Which means that this 3 by 3 square must be like this. So this is a 2. This 3 needs at least 1 on the left. The same here. This one cannot increase further, but because it will take this 2. Now this 3 needs at least 1 cell on the right. This must be 1 by 1. Now we have some information here. Those two cells must be in the same square, so it's at least 2 by 2, and it takes this 3. those two are in the same and cannot connect here because it will be a 4 at least. So this 3 by 3 must look like this. This is a 2 now. Come on. And this is 1. Now those two cells are in the same square in those two and those two and those two. So this is at least 3 by 3. This will take this 3 and must look like this. This is at least a 2 and cannot grow further because it will take this 2. Those two cells must be in the same square, so it's at least 4 by 4, but it cannot grow further because it will take this 2. This is a 2 by 2. Those two cells are in the same, it cannot grow further. Those two are in the same, it will be a 2 by 2. Those two are in the same, cannot connect here because it will be a 4. So it's a 2 by 2. And this 3 must look like this. Okay, let's finish this small area. This 3 must be like this, and it's a 2 by 2. This 2 on the border now. If this 2 does not go right, then I will have a four-way intersection here. Now this is a 2 by 2. So 1. Those two are in the same, so this is a 2 by 2. Those two are in the same, those two are in the same. Take those 2, so it must be a 2 by 2. Got those ones. This is a 2 by 2. Those two are in the same. And those are in the same. That's done. Poof. Supersized puzzle. Nothing to say here. Alright, that's it for this episode. I don't know, maybe you want to leave a comment saying that this new setup doesn't work because like I'm looking up instead of right into your soul, or I don't know, mouse clicking is very loud, or I don't know, boy is making too much noise because we got mail. Can't do anything about that, sorry. Thanks for watching. Bye.